Perhaps you read the synopsis for this game and it comes across, I mean, if you're a gamer, you're familiar, or just a sci-fi space fan, you're kind of familiar with this type of plot line. You got a space set adventure, mission goes wrong, ship falls apart, ragtag group of heroes that they get to control have to fight their way through some obstacles and, eventually get to a more joyous end. That's, I believe, the nature of the game, even though, as I understand, this is still relatively early days in its advertising cycle, and I don't think yet it's released. But it is coming from Sega, who's very prominent in terms of the gaming industry. I mean, they've been around for many years. I'm familiar with them largely because of the Sonic titles, even though that was a relatively fresh look for me, largely based on the film. I hadn't looked into those games too much, but I did very recently, and I'm at least compelled to, try out one of the Sonic games, in the future. But I'm mostly familiar with Sega from that angle. So I'm not familiar with some of their other titles, but Endless Dungeon, I believe, is a fresher release with a bit of a conventional plot, but maybe, make up for it with a presentation. Let's go ahead and take a look at Endless Dungeon first from a synopsis perspective. You'll see kind of, again, what I've said in general summation. This is according to the Xbox YouTube channel. Ship wrecked on a mysterious space station. You'll need to recruit a team of heroes to protect your crystal against never-ending waves of monsters. Or die trying, get reloaded, and try again. So it makes it very clear that you're probably going to die, and so it's pretty easy to get rebooted. I wonder if they worked that into the story at all. But at the very least, it sounds like, again, to reiterate, some elements here do sound a bit conventional within the genre of sci-fi and space thrillers, but maybe, again, the presentation will speak for its, its own credits. Let me go ahead and pull up. We're going to look at 2 trailers in this video for it, just get a general summation of the game, starting with the announced trailer, which I believe came out as of 2020. So again, couple years ago, but I don't think the game is released just yet. I might be wrong. Let's see if this game, this trailer fills me in. Without further ado, let me get it rolling. Okay, and then, we'll just cycle into the next trailer and get a good look for it as well from, again, a broader scope. But this is the announced trailer. This is, again, early days, I would imagine. I like the style for it. I wonder if those songs are going to work their way into the game. Cool character avatars. It's very colorful. Even if, again, it's a bit of a space thriller, it's got a very unique illustration style to it. Anime inspired a bit. I don't know, I look at this and I think of it like Star Wars Resistance or an art style of that nature. So this is primarily, I guess the song kind of gives you a bit of an inference on where the plot's going. But you've got your general group here, the general villains, which look kind of Raftar-like. Small, but again, if you're a Star Wars fan, I'm sure that name is reminiscent to you. Oh, so this is the general game layout, okay. I'm pretty sure we're going to see this more in the gameplay trailer, I would imagine, but I like the aerial perspective. It's easy to see where all the characters are and how it's laid out. It's available for the new consoles. Is it available for PlayStation at all? I thought I saw it advertised there. I might be wrong. It might just be an Xbox exclusive, which is fine. I own an Xbox One, and I don't have to wait. Unlike some other releases, this is actually available on the older consoles. They didn't, front load it for the new one, which I can't get a copy of yet. It's still so hard because they're all like $800 plus. I guess $500 depending on where you look, but then you risk buying it from allergen-filled homes, and that's not. I don't know. I'm very careful. Pet allergies, milk allergies. So that's the announced trailer. Again, early days. Nice aesthetics. Good general layout. Again, kind of familiar. I like the pastel look to it, though. Again, it's very vivid in its presentation. And I do like the hint of the gameplay here as you're seeing displayed with the aerial perspective. Everything's very easy to follow. Let me see if the gameplay trailer captures that anymore. I would imagine it would. I'm still getting used to, but I know that's clearly Sega sound effects. I'm just not used to them as a studio yet.
Yep, all of them.
Still early days in my familiarity.
Rule number 1, certain weapons work better on certain monsters.
Okay, so you have to adapt.
Learn it
There's variety.
or die. Oh, option B then. Rule number 2. Use turrets to protect that
Focal
unstable
point.
dust bomb we call the crystal. Because it's their catnip. And if it goes,
Is it like a...
you go.
Oh, there it is. I'm like, is it the plant or is it the ship? I had some trouble
Just like
following
that.
what they were talking about. Maybe that was featured in the outro.
Rule
I just
number
missed it.
3. Watch your squad. Even if you've got the guns, the turrets, and the crystal, you can't do everything by yourself. If you fight alone, you die alone.
I do like the map variety, even if, again, it's in a consistent ship.
Together again.
You have a general outline
And
for the
rule
frame.
number 4?
The environment is the same.
Well, if you've got
But
all
each room
that
feels
going,
very
but
distinct.
you still can't win,
Never be the environmental features or just the color palette.
you gotta change the squad.
I like the way the powers are materialized. I mean, it's kind of pretty to look
Tag
at.
team.
Oh, one's got like cyborg
I'm in.
accessories. Oh, it is available for PS5. Okay, and Steam, Nintendo Switch. They got the whole broad range there. So it's not an Xbox exclusive. So you got a variety on all the platforms, however you choose to play it. Like I said, probably Xbox One for me. If I do choose to try it, and if so, I have a gameplay channel linked down below in the description box, TCGN. You'll find gameplay, maybe, time willing and God willing for Endless Dungeon should I choose to try it. But at the very least, again, it's got that vibe of being a familiar game from the general plot. But I like the presentation. The color palette's very nice. It's easy to follow. I do like how each room is very distinct. I just looked at a trailer. I'm still funneling for like some older pictures as well that I've had to look at for a long time. Paladins, forgive me the pronunciation if I'm wrong on this. But with that game, at least from what I saw in the trailers, I might be wrong on this based on the realization of the game. Because that game's been out for a couple years and it's gotten substantial DLC additions. There seems to be some map variety. More so with this game than there was for that one, which looked pretty consistent with it just being on one map. Although you've got an array of characters you can use, it seemed a bit flat, at least on that aspect. Here, I like the fact that there are many different distinct environments, so it feels like there's different places, even if it's in the same framework of this ship. Which, by the way, I like how the darker silhouettes really accentuate the design of that central room. I think to get rid of some of the border details really helps focus your attention inward, and it's a good presentation. But I do like, again, the variety of the rooms. And it seems the different devices you can use with the characters, each one has their own weapons, their own power, and some rooms and some actions mandate different tools in your arsenal. So there's an element of strategy to getting out of the ship. Again, familiar elements perhaps, but at the same time, it displays itself well. And Sega, being a very prominent game distributor and production company, I would imagine that, for them, this is, easily up their sleeve. But again, like I said, it's still relatively early days with them in terms of my familiarity with them as a game platform. I haven't played much from them in the way of their productions, but I'm willing to give that at least a go. And did this give a release date? I don't think it did. So I don't know if it's out yet. I don't think it is because they haven't put out like a launch trailer. I guess this might still be in development. And this trailer specifically came out as of 11 months ago. Precisely in terms of the date, June 11th of 2021. There's been some, and we're going to look at this in another video, there's been some hero disclosures, but maybe they'll advertise a release date there. And those are even more fairly recent. There's been like no official launch trailer, so I'm imagining this is still in the works. I could be wrong on that. Feel free to clarify down below in the comments if that happens to be the case. But I would invite you to contribute down your thoughts down below. If you're somebody who's been a long-time Sega player, is this a title that interests you? I mean, again, I want to broaden out my range of titles on my shelf, and I would imagine, this has some promise. Again, I voiced, some of the points I think are strengths of the project. We'll see. Again, maybe it has that. Well, I'll get to that. But for those of you who are, maybe new to this, like I was, what are your general thoughts? This is a title you go to, your local game store and think immediately, I just want to try it. Let me know down below, whatever your thoughts happen to be. But long story short, I think it looks good. It's a game with a lot of promise. Perhaps, again, a bit of a conventional plot. It fits into the genre of space adventures with ragtag teams of groups that we've seen popularized within many different types of franchises. But I think overall this looks good. So there's some promise, I think, in the way of Endless Dungeon to the point that I would be willing to try it out. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.